Hi everyone, welcome to Ships at Sea. So today's video just going to have a quick look at version 0.8.6, which has just come out of its testing phase and has been released. They've also said they have apparently extended the release date of this game for another 2 years, which to me I actually don't mind. I think it's better that they improve it. I'd rather see a good game released a few years down the line than them rush and release a partially finished game. So to me personally, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It shows they're keen to actually make sure the game that's released is a good game. Although I appreciate some people may be a bit frustrated with that. So, what's changed in this game at the moment? Graphic improvements. It's moved up to a new Unity engine. For me personally, I still see the sort of same graphic problems I've always had, flickering lights, etc. As I said, I am running on a gaming laptop. I keep saying that. Uh, so your mileage might vary. Again, improved physics. I have seen, personally for me, I feel the physics are getting better. There's multiplayer is now got dedicated servers. I'm not sure how multiplayer works. Maybe someone who watches this video could put a comment below. My understanding at the moment is that if you go into a game, you form a company with a server owner, so any ships or money you take merges with them, which means you kind of would want your own individual profile for multiplayer games. I don't know if it's possible where you can just go into a game, work on a ship for somebody, get paid, leave the game and go back to your own company. Maybe somebody who watches this could clarify that. That's what I'd like. The old way of just inviting friends into your game, it's still there. You don't need a dedicated server. You've got multi-engine boats now, so there'll be multiple throttles and individual throttle settings for each boat. I believe the boat I'm going to be using today, the Turbo, the fishing tier 3 fishing vessel, I think that's still just got a single throttle, so I'm not going to be looking at multi-engines today. A tutorial mission has been released, so you can now opt to do the tutorial. Obviously, since I've played this for about a year, I've kind of skipped that. Going into the office, let's have a... This UI has been cleaned up. It's easier to read. This little clock icon, I believe, would imply there's a time limit, or there is a possibility that you won't be able to complete the mission in the time permitted, or at least it's getting close to you will fail the mission. You see the icons much clearer to read. There is a new mission, Repair Sea Marker, so if you select that, you'll go out to Sea Marker and Repair. I will probably do a video to show that. It shows you the requirements, the equipment you need, and it also shows you the boats you have currently in your fleet that are able to do that mission, which I think is really useful. Weight limits. Now I'm not sure. So I've heard that the weight limits are now in force on these boats, particularly the fishing vessel, because people are talking about how the amount of money they can earn has been seriously nerfed. I actually don't have a problem with fishing not paying massively well. You know, fishermen don't go around with 938 million NOK. It's all tied up in their boats, in their business, I'm guessing. What I think they could do to help a player who doesn't want to have to keep grinding 18 million for the new boat is either have a much bigger loan, so you can actually get a boat on a loan, or even a lease system so you pay a monthly rate to actually run a boat. I think it wouldn't make it so important to try and rush up and get lots and lots of money so you can buy the bigger tier boats. That's just my opinion. Let's go and have a look in the fishing shop. Something to point out, they've now got a partnership with a crane company, Lorentzen Hydraulics. So these cranes apparently have a bigger reach, a bit longer. Apart from that, I guess they still run pretty much the same. They operate the same way. I'm not sure what that fishing 0 out of 4 means. I'm not sure if that's an implication of the crew that are on that boat. Maybe that's for multiplayer. So something I was looking forward to is obviously the fishing has been given its first pass. Bait now becomes a lot more relevant. You can only catch the fish with the bait you actually the bait actually affects the sort of fish you will catch. I'm just going to get some of this because I know what my plan is. Also, the fish is now seasonal, varying prices depending on the season. What might be nice is if you could actually sort of like trim this menu down so you just see catfish, for example, or if you're just looking at the price of cod, that would be more useful, or if you could change it by price, maybe I'm sure they'll give this another pass. So you see varying prices and the seasons, and the price will vary according to the season. So if we just come out of this, if we go to the help and fishing, go to fish types, you see it's got a season September to April, for example, for cod, haddock, etc. So the fish will become more populated when they're in season, and I believe a price in peak season is you get a better price. So what I'm actually going to do is take a boat out and we just go out for a few long lines. I'm not going to do a full fishing mission. So we just go on board. I'll probably have to go and refuel this boat, but I'll do that off video. No, don't need them. It's drizzling, but it's not actually, there's no rain. I've seen on the videos the rain actually sticks to the windows. It looks a lot better. Again, it may be my graphics setting is just a bit too low for that. I might have a mess around. Another big thing they brought in is dynamic weather. So somewhere up here, there it is. You can click E and it shows you the weather forecast for the next few hours. Showing the details, gives you the swell wind. Now I'm not sure the difference between swell wind direction and wind direction, to be honest. I'm not sure what the difference. Surely the wind is the wind. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Something I might have to look into. But anyway, so you get the weather forecast. If we come out of that, if we go to tab, in terms of weather settings, on this side you have the current weather, and on this side you can actually set the weather, or you can set custom, so you can make it sunny, rainy, windy, snow, clouds, fog, start a storm. You can select custom. That will give various sliders, and you can lock these different bars so that it won't change, so you can really change the weather to suit you. Once you've changed the weather, what happens is it won't stay like that. It will carry on changing dynamically. It will just, yeah, go in a slightly different way, perhaps from what the forecast may have told you. So again, very, very good. And let's have a look at the map, and you can see if I zoom out a bit, it's a much bigger map, but we have all these fish icons. It's no longer just static. These fish icons are moving. The nose of a fish is showing you the direction it's going. If I hover over the fish, it will show you the composition of the skull. So these populations will change over time. Now, I did ask, is there a way to know how a population changes? And one of the developers said it's a UI progress bar. If it's in the red, it means that the population is under strain or it's very low. Now, I'm not sure where that progress bar is. I might have to fire another question at them, because at the moment, yeah, I mean, everything looks okay. Maybe it's because nothing's been overfished. Maybe the UI bar will appear if I start to overfish. I'm sure we'll work that out as we go along. But anyway, my plan is I'll refuel. We'll make our way out to this fish school. We'll drop a couple of long lines, and I'll just demonstrate a few little differences in fishing. Okay, so I will rejoin you shortly. Okay, welcome back. So we've just arrived. You can just see this sort of pale area. That shows the influence of the school. The fish can be in this area. The fish icon is showing the direction. It's currently moving from the left towards right, so it's moving sort of easterly, and that will change. My sonar, I've got my little fish marker, which someone kindly pointed out there's a button you click to make that appear. One thing I wouldn't mind is make those fish markers a little bit easier to understand which type of fish it is. I mean, they're so small. Maybe, I don't know, at least have that icon maybe on my help, a key to it, or a guide, so that I can look and say that is the mackerel. I don't know if the sonar pattern makes any difference. One thing they have said, the fish will occupy different areas of the sea column, so some fish will be shallow, some are between shallow and deep water. And again, since I can't change the depth of my long line, I don't think that makes any real difference. So what I'll do is I'll just show you one thing that has changed when we lay a long line. We're going to do that now. Please make it so your crew can throw the long line for you, and I can just keep an eye on the boat's helm. Let's just bait up a couple of buckets. So we'll just place bait in a few of them. The buckets now are highlighted, which actually makes it much easier to bait buckets that are underneath, so I can bait all the buckets at once now. Big improvement, because before you had to kind of wait until you'd moved a bucket before you could bait the one under it. But yeah, that's enough. Okay, let's grab a bucket and we'll launch it. Now once that's launched, if I can just hover, let's zoom in a bit. If I hover over it, you can see it now has a soak time. So again, this now has an influence. The best soak time is between 12 to 17 hours. Some people early on, I think it's been fixed now, were saying they weren't getting any fish. The developers said the peak time is 17. Once you go past that, it starts to taper off and you start to lose fish. So personally, I'm picking up between 16 and 17 hours. I've never had any problems collecting the fish. Okay, I'm not going to dwell too much on this. What we'll do is I'll lay a few long lines out and I'll jump forwards. Again, I don't know if anyone watching this plays this game, but I'd be interested to know how you would put your long lines out? What pattern? Because I find my long lines tend to go all over the place. Should you do a sort of a spider web? Should it be lines? The other thing is, we've talked about having the longer lines. Actually, now having those long lines may be beneficial because you can actually reach across and hopefully catch fish. If it changes course, your line is much more likely to catch it if it's a longer line. So now I actually can see a use for those longer lines. You can just maybe notice that fish just moved a little bit there. Okay, what I'll do is I'll jump forward to where we're pulling in the fish and just see what's happening. So again, I will catch up with you soon. Okay, I've soaked them. If we just hover over them, you can see the different soak times. One thing again, it used to be on the, I think it's their Barents Sea, is that these buoys used to have little numbers, and so it's much more. It's much easier to see when which one you'd laid first. So in order to get back and pick them up in order. So again, something I might like to see. It wasn't too hard to kind of work out where we were, but yeah, so that's the soak time. The other thing that I've noticed is that fish, you notice that the percentage of mackerel has gone up, percentage of haddock, medium and large, has actually dropped slightly. And that's because I'm catching them. They're actually getting hooked on my lines. I haven't actually picked anything up yet, so it's already starting to show that the population is starting to drop. Now, I would imagine if I really fished this area, eventually mackerel would be 100%. But again, there should be somewhere, I will maybe put a follow-up question on Steam, is where is this UI bar that shows the health of a population overall? Okay. That's it for 8.6. So what I probably will do is I'll do some other videos. I might do a video for the sea marker. I might do a video for showing me multiple engines, and I'm almost certainly going to do another fishing video. Again, not sure if I want to try net fishing again, because it's always got a hammering because it was so low the money, and maybe it's improved a little bit. I don't know. But I'll certainly do some proper long line fishing mission with this, because I really do like the look of it, if I'm honest. The fish habitats just look a lot better. One thing though, it's a big map. So if I hover over, I want to pick up cod. That's 15 nautical miles. That's probably going to take nearly an hour of real time just to get there. Which is a problem with these games, is that they are boring by their nature. People say they're boring. Well, yes, because a lot of the time when you're just sailing from one place to another, there's not a lot to do. I don't really know what the developers can do about that. Yes, we could have fast travel, single player. I don't know how that would work in multiplayer. Maybe things to do when you're sailing, engine problems or maintenance on the engines, scrub the decks, fix fishing equipment. That might work. Having to maintain your boat as you're sailing, that would certainly kill some time. But again, I don't think it's a problem. It's an inherent problem, if, in my opinion. Anyway, that's enough rambling from me. I hope this video has been useful. As always, if you've got any of the answers to the questions I've been asking, please leave a comment below. If you've got any suggestions or any other queries or questions, please leave a comment below, or any opinions. What do you think? How do you think the game's going? Always interested, always enjoy hearing from everyone. I read every comment. Okay, well, speak to you soon. Take care of yourselves and have a good day. Bye.